Welcome, everyone, to the Betting Weekly Extra Time World Football Show with myself and RJ. Unfortunately, this is the last of the World Football shows we're going to be doing this summer, RJ. But don't worry, everyone. Loads of massive content coming for you throughout August and September and the rest of the season. But it's been a pleasure working with you this summer, RJ. And let's see if we can finish with a bang.
Yeah, it's been great, Steve. It's a little disappointing. This is our last show, but I've had a blast keeping the content rolling through the summer and hopefully allowing the viewers that typically watch us in the fall with the major leagues return some profit, right? Some good content, some profit. Maybe you learn some new team names. Maybe you learn some new pronunciations because Steve has been great on that across the board. But yeah, we're looking forward to finishing strong. We had a nice week last week, and I think we got a couple good ones for everyone this week as well.
Yeah, last week you were absolutely on fire, RJ. A clean sweep, 3 out of 3 winners for you. I hit 1 out of 2. I was disappointed with the Bodo Glimt against Tromsø match. That really badly let me down. But you had a clean sweep of winners. Congratulations. Must be feeling red hot.
Thank you. Yeah, feeling good. It's been a good week overall. Up until yesterday, I had hit 11 straight bets. So, cherish those streaks. They don't obviously come often. There was a little bit of luck on my side at times, but yeah, feeling good lately. And it's good to see that in the summer months when things can become a little bit inconsistent. So I'm feeling good and ready to roll here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I was very pleased. I actually won an under pick on a Bet Rivers show, which is really, really rare. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come. So that got my confidence back with unders again. You know, it's important to nail away at those.
Absolutely. I'd never take unders, but I was following that match, Steve. And anytime you take an under, you're like, you almost don't even want to check the score out. You check it an hour or two after the match. You're like, all right, how did I do? Because you see an early goal or two in an under match, you're like, oh, here we go. But those are tough on the soul. I feel like more than the wallet as well.
The first goal that IFK Gothenburg scored was a 30-yard belter. And I'm like, oh, no, not today, please.
Yeah,
the second goal was a freak deflection. And in the last kick of the game, the Kalmar goalkeeper nearly let a ball right under his legs into the net, and it just missed the post by a whisker. And that would have just summed my luck up if it had gone in. But 100%. For once, maybe the luck was on my side. So we move to this week's picks. We've got 2 from you, 3 from me. We're starting in China. Now, this is a match on Friday. This is a 7:35 kickoff time Eastern. Shandong Taishan against Maizhou Haka. 2 lovely sounding teams there. Talk us through this game and the pick you've got for it, RJ.
Yeah, I'd like to look at the goals in this match, Steve. Shandong enter the match with a point to prove. In a way, they did lose to Maizhou Haka earlier in the season 2-1. However, they just played them about a week and a half ago in the China CFA Cup, and they destroyed them 6-0. Maizhou Haka was defeated 6-0 by Shandong. Shandong was on the road. So with that demolishing in sort of the rearview mirror, because it was quite recent, I expect them to continue that form at home. Their most recent match, they beat Beijing Guan, who's a pretty popular side in China. They've had some pretty strong players that have joined that team in the recent years. But the team overall's form has just been impressive. They've won 3 out of their last 5. They're pretty solid defensively. Nothing astonishing, but they are pretty strong at home. They have the likes of Marione Fellini, who has been able to find the net pretty consistently. He's a 35-year-old striker who's been in the Premier League for quite some time. He played for Everton. He played for Man U. They also have 27-year-old Kryzan is his name. He's a Brazilian-born striker who's also been a bit of he's been more of a journeyman. He's played in the Primeira Liga in Portugal. He's played in Saudi Arabia's top division, and as well as his homeland Serie A in Brazil. So they're sitting in 4th place with 32 points. It's a pretty crucial fixture for them, right, to potentially climb into the top 3. If you look at the standings, they're 3 points behind Shanghai Shenhua, who's sitting in second place for that AFC Champions League qualification spot. So it's a big match for them. And like I said, at home they've been quite strong. And Maizuhaka, on the other hand, have they won 2-1 in their last domestic match. They're a bit of a mixed bag on the road. They're not quite consistent. Really not too many notable players to name of. Tyrone Conrad and Nebosja Kosovic, a Dutch and a Serbian-born player. But the majority of their domestic-born players, not too good. And from a statistical perspective, Steve, we're looking at Shandong at home, averaged just under 3 goals for. And they put up at least 2 goals in their last 3 matches. And in fact, they put up 7, at least 2 goals in 7 out of their last 8 home matches. So they're a side not to be reckoned with at home. Maizuhaka, on the other hand, have allowed at least 2 goals in their last 8 away matches. So, this looks like should be a domination from Shandong. They're minus 450 on the money line. The play I'm looking at here is over 3 at minus 118. To be truthful, I think this line should be priced at over 2.75. I think because of their recent drubbing, a 6-0 win, even though it was a cup game, the bookies have this at over 3. I like our chances of a push here at worst, but this should be a home demolishing, leading the way with 2+ goals at least from Shandong.
Yeah, over 3 goals is the pick there in Shandong against Maizuhaka. And I'm just looking at Maizuhaka. The last 10 games have all contained at least 3 goals. So you'd be pretty unlucky not to get the push. Quite a few of their games have contained exactly 3. Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. That push is in play. But we don't mind pushes on this show. We never have. I've always said in betting, RJ, the key is avoiding losers. It's not necessarily about your winners. It's about avoiding your losers or getting half losers. Just avoid those full losers. I think that is the way you're going to make your bank manager happy.
Absolutely. Yeah. If this line was over 3.25 or even 3.5, I would avoid this. There is a little bit of weather on the horizon in China. There's some thunderstorms. There's some kind of bad weather fronts in the area. But precipitation isn't really too much of a concern. I just think we'll see if there's any delays. But this match should be ready to go tomorrow morning.
Brilliant. So I'm going to move on to my first pick of the show, and it's a Norwegian Eliteserien match. Top flight game in Norway on Sunday at, this is 11 a.m. kickoff time Eastern. Sandefjord against Sarpsborg. The pick is over 3.25 goals at minus 118. So if there's 3 goals exactly, we'll just lose half of the stake. And this should be a match full of goals. It's very difficult to make a case for anyone backing under here. It really is. So it has to be the overs. Let's start with Sandefjord. Defensively, they're a disaster. Seriously, me and you would have fun against that defense, RJ. Would certainly get chances. They actually won a match last week, which surprised me. They did beat Vålerenga 3-2 away. I'll be honest, I didn't see where their next win was going to come from. So fair play to them there. But they still conceded a lot of goals. They still conceded a lot of chances. I think the XG against them was over 2.5. So they actually they conceded 2 goals, but they overachieved. Sandefjord know they're not going to stay up by keeping clean sheets and conceding 1 goal. They have to swing. And to be fair to them, they do have counter-attacking threat. They do have set-piece threat. There's a goal scorer I quite like here, Jesper Taya for Sandefjord. Plus 750, you could do worse than him. He's a big, big lad who regularly causes problems from set pieces. So I think Sandefjord are good for a goal at least against Sarpsborg. But Sarpsborg are the higher quality outfit. They've got a lot of good players in their ranks. They actually won the reverse fixture. These 2 teams met on the 2nd of July, so not long ago. And Sarpsborg battered them 6-1. Absolutely crucified them. And this was such a big beating that I think that's going to stay in the heads of the players. They'll want some revenge, but also I think they just don't want to get beat really big again. Now, I don't think it'll be 6-1, but there's at least 3 goals in this game, in my personal opinion, because the way Sarpsborg play, I always say to people, people ask me this regularly, I want to follow a team in Norway. I want to support a team in Norway. Who should I be a fan of? And at this moment in time, Sarpsborg are a really great team for the neutral because they play such attacking football. Their manager, Stefan Bilbon, his tactics are gung-ho. They score goals, but they concede a lot of goals. Great entertainers, really. So I don't see a clean sheet from either team. Both have got goals in them, especially Sarpsborg. It's just an automatic over 3.25 goals bet for me, RJ, at -118. And if you are listening and that price has gone, I would actually take over 3.5 for this game. I don't normally like over 3.5, but this just screams goals, mistakes, everything.
Yeah, I can't disagree, Steve. The average between both sides in their respective home and away spots is 4.2 goals per match. Sarpsborg have not failed to score in their last 5 road matches. Sandefjord at home has kept a couple clean sheets, but as you stated, sitting in that relegation zone, they know draws and 1 point affair is not going to bode them very well. So yeah, I like the look of goals here as well, Steve. This is on Sunday, right?
Yes, I'm just saying that I am now going to do my second pick for the show. This is a Monday fixture in Sweden, Malmo against Halmstad. And I'm doing a same game parlay here. Got a little bit creative. Now, Malmo to win the game around about the -350 mark. So you're not going to get rich backing them on the nose. But I'm going to combine a Malmo win with their top goal scorer, Isaac Kiese-Tellin, to score any time. He has netted 12 goals this season, and he scored twice in their last game. He had a bit of a lean spell a few weeks ago. He just didn't look sharp, but I figured that his confidence is now back. He's going to be on the penalties. And Malmo are just about to face a team that have lost 5-0 to Varberg, the bottom team, who are terrible. Now, this defeat was so bad that Halmstad's goalkeeper has retired from football due to mental health on the back of this
funny, but it's not good.
Well, it's not probably quite as simple as that. He actually came off the field after 22 minutes when they were 2-0 down. So I think there's some underlying issues there. We do wish him well, Nilsson Salkvist. We absolutely wish him well, but that sort of result can really grip a side and put fear into them. They're a newly promoted team who've done well this season, but as always happens with newly promoted teams, they hit a rough spell often about now, and the last thing they want to do is go to Malmo away. Malmo, who are in title contention, who do have probably the strongest squad in the league. I did look at the handicap for that. I think Malmo will win well, to be honest, but Halmstad, sometimes when you conceded 5 goals, you go defensive again. The 1-0, the 2-0 is maybe in play. If Malmo are to score, for me, it's this striker, Isaac Kiese-Tellin. He's the man. So this same game parlay is at -122. So rather than just Malmo on the nose at -350, get a bit of value here. As long as they win the game, as long as Isaac Kiese-Tellin scores at some stage, then that will be a winner for me. This is a Monday game over in Sweden, Allsvenskan.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could do worse by targeting a goal scorer other than your man here, because he is the top scorer in Allsvenskan. And I agree. I think after a 5-0 defeat against the worst side in Allsvenskan, your goalkeeper retiring, right, having to resort to some lineup changes, probably morale is awful. And now you have to travel against one of the top sides historically, not only this year in Sweden. They're up for a challenge. That could be a problem for them. So yeah, I like the situational awareness here on this one, Steve, for sure.
Yeah, I think they have been forced into the transfer market, Halmstad, to get a new goalkeeper in. Whether or not he starts for this game or not. We'll have to wait and see. Malcolm Nielsen Southcrest, the goalkeeper, he's had a good year for them, so it will be a big loss.
Yeah.
In general, and you're right, that can really destabilize a team. And hopefully he will be back in football next year again. But okay, we move on to your second pick of the show, RJ. We're moving back to Saturday now. We're into Norway, Obos-ligaen, which is the second division in Norway. Kristiansund against Start. So get us started here.
I'll get us started for sure. So again, just like in the China match, I like the look of goals here. I'm targeting over 3.5 over 3.25 goals at -118. Kristiansund led by Benjamin Stoke. Could be off there, Steve. Help me out. But
Stoke, I think it is, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're probably right. Stoke will look to keep their impressive home form in order. Arguably, Kristiansund is the strongest home side in Obos-ligaen. They've netted an impressive 16 goals in their last 5 home matches, and they've only kept a clean sheet in 1 out of those 5 matches. Even last place Skeid were able to put up 2 against them in a recent match. So also, Kristiansund are coming off a tough loss against Raufoss prior to their break. So they've been on break for around a month, and they're heading back into the season. So they've been on break. They should be recharged. They do know they had a defeat prior to that break. So I expect goals to flow. And from a pure stat perspective, as I stated, they've been extremely dominant at home. They're averaged 3.2 goals for at home over their last 5 matches, 3 goals over their last 6. And then you have, as I stated, they've allowed at least a goal in every one but 1 match at home. So both teams to score happen quite frequently with them. The away side Start have been impressive on the road. I mean, simple as that. They've put up goals. They've put up 1.84, 9 goals in their last 5 away matches, and they've allowed 10, just around 2 goals allowed per match. So they've yet to keep a clean sheet, and they have not failed to score over their last 6 road matches. So expect both sides to score here, which is certainly why it's important to note that on the over 3.25 goals. I would normally not take that total if I don't expect at least both sides to get on the net. So as I said, they've scored on every match on the road except once, which was the first road match of this season. And goals should flow here. Simple as that. And I expect Kristiansund to get back in the top or close to the top spot in this division and back up into the top league.
It's very, very hard to argue against this pick, RJ. I must say it was on my shortlist for this show as well. It should be full of goals. 2 teams that actually have serious promotion ambitions. Start, I think, pre-season were the favourites to go up. Kristiansund, for me, have the best squad in Obos. So they should be doing better. And what's letting them down is the defence, actually. The defences of both teams is just nowhere near good enough. Metrically, Kristiansund have the highest expected goals per game of any team as well. So over 3.25 looks a fantastic line, really. An obvious pick. They should be at very worst 3 goals. And I'm glad this league's back up, actually, the Obos League. And it's a great league for those to follow. If you're after some goals, I still don't know why on earth they had a summer break in Norway, of all places, where that's about the only month they have good weather.
I was going to ask you that because I didn't have the answer. And, from a metric perspective, as you said, defensively, they're just both teams aren't very good. But offensively, they're the 2 top scoring teams in the Obos-ligaen. So, I mean, with all those, pieces to the puzzle in place and a month off, it's hard to argue against, goals galore here.
It really is. It really is indeed. And as I say, there's a few picks I had my eye on in this league the weekend. You could do an awful lot worse than backing Kongsvinger, I think, against Raufoss. I think Kongsvinger are really primed for promotion. But for my third pick of the show, it's the underdog, Steve's dog of the week. I think we're actually going to call it the hot dog. Someone tweeted in I can't remember who it was. I want to give that guy a mention.
I'll find out why you.
Yeah, it was whoever that was. I thank you very much. I do like that one. Steve's hot dog of the week, and we're going to finish. I really wanted to get a big price goal scorer to try and really get the World Football Show results up towards maybe even the +10 mark. But in the end, I've gone with a goal scorer in Tromsø against Lillestrøm, Norwegian Eliteserien match on Sunday. And the player involved, I'm backing anytime score at +215, is the brilliantly named Jacob Napoleon Romchaz. I mean, that just deserves to win based on his name alone, doesn't it, RJ?
Sure does.
But a young player who, he's only 19 years old. He's been in and around the bench for Tromsø. He plays for Tromsø. And recently he's made the most of starting matches. He's actually scored 3 goals in his last 2 games. 2 goals against Brann. He scored against Bodø/Glimt last week in the shock win. I mean, those are 2 decent teams. It's not like he's beating up Sandefjord or someone like that. And I really like what I see from this striker. I think he's got a fantastic future ahead of him. He's got instinct in terms of finishing. His positioning, he's in the right place. And he's got a bit of high-class skill about him. So I think it's a case of striking the hot hand. And he's facing a Lillestrøm side who've only kept, I think, 2 clean sheets all season. We talked about them last week. They can't keep clean sheets. 2 of their starting defenders are probably out of this game, Lillestrøm. So Jacob Napoleon Romchaz is going to be, I think, licking his lips. He's going to get chances. He should start again. The manager would be stupid not to start him after the last 2 games he's had. So +215, I think it's a big price on this man to hit the back of the net in Tromsø. Every single week, Tromsø overs are undervalued because they are perceived as being a defensive negative side. And whilst they do have better defensive metrics than some other teams, they do have goals in them, as last week proved. So, yeah, a nice little cheeky hot dog bet to finish with. On the World Football Show, Jacob Napoleon Romchaz, anytime goal scorer in the Tromsø Lillestrøm match at +215.
Yeah, I don't have too much feedback on this one, Steve. I'd certainly trust your judgment here. This is a league you cover and know very well. And unfortunately, I was unable to find the mention in one of the tweets about who gave you that hot dog tip there for your dog of the week, but
I know it was whoever came up with that suggestion. I do thank you, and tweet me again. Tweet us again.
Tweet us again. Yeah,
I'm gonna use that going forward in the shows, and that's what I'm gonna talk about to finish off the World Football Show. We will be doing several anti-post futures shows for Premier League and some of the big European matches. There's going to be a new European show each week. And there's going to be a reaction show as well. So where's the place you can find all these soccer shows brought to you in association with Bet Rivers, your hometown sportsbook? You can find it on our new YouTube channel at Because We Win. And the best thing to do is to subscribe and actually hit that bell icon as well, so you're notified when new content is up. It's not just the soccer content. We've got the brilliant tennis content as well on this channel, and also the cricket boys are on this new YouTube channel. So plenty to get excited about. RJ is going to be involved quite a bit as well, and it's going to be hopefully a big season ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of transfers in the football world. And as you said, there's more than just that. There's tennis, there's cricket. I've certainly learned a lot from those videos because I'm the furthest person away from having much of an idea of what happens in cricket. So I've learned a lot and actually enjoyed the content. So looking forward to what's to come. And as we stated at the beginning, it's been a pleasure to do this show with you, Steve. I've had a blast.
It's been an absolute blast. The profit, I forgot to mention this at the start of the show. We are +1.5 units up in profit. Hopefully we can add to that with the picks in this show. There is still that outright pick I gave a few weeks ago on IFK Gothenburg to be relegated directly. Right. It's still +100 if you want to get on that. Anyone listening, IFK Gothenburg to be in the bottom 2 at the end of the season. I know they won last week. I still think that's got a really good chance. So the final tally for the show won't be perhaps known until November. But yes, from me and RJ, it is goodbye from now. Look out for a lot more content. Subscribe to the Because We Win YouTube channel, and we'll see you again very soon. Take care, everyone. Gamble responsibly. It's been a pleasure.